Hi, good morning. Welcome to the channel. My name is Niladri Mukherjee, and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I practice here in Guelph, Ontario. A very warm welcome to all of you in this live stream. This is gonna be more of an update kind of stream. I'm going to talk through the kind of, I would say, the situational change that I see through my practice. So this is not something that I'm really researching on through the government website or through provincial websites. This is purely from my practice, and hence this is for you to understand is that since I work on a very specific field in some very specific aspects, so this update may not cover like literally every aspect of the immigration process, but shall definitely give you an update about what's going on really, so that like what's really going to happen with your application maybe. So the first major update that I have for you guys is that the visit visa processing time or the tourist visa processing time, and the processing time is really going down substantially quite a bit, uh, for almost every sphere of the world. Now this is interesting because if you look at the government processing time on the IRCC website, you will not really see a lot of changes. For example, if I just talk about India, it is still mentions 95 95 days of processing time, and that obviously 95 days starts after you complete your biometrics. So but realistically speaking, I do a lot of visit visa applications from India. The processing time has never really been more than 30 to 45 days, and this is not 30 to 45 30 to 45 business days. This is 30 to 45 calendar days. So, and this is true for almost all the countries that I work on. For example, for Malaysia, for a certain part of Africa, from Dubai, from the Philippines. So these are the countries that I definitely see the processing time has gone down, is going down quite substantially. And most importantly, what you have to keep in mind, and as I have said quite a few times in the video, is that for well-made applications, when it comes to temporary resident visas, the processing time reduces quite substantially. If you have seen my previous video, uh, I have applied for a fresh application for a visit visa application for one of my clients from India, and that person got the decision, the approval within 4 business days. I mean, literally on the fourth business day, the person has got the approval. So this is like a magical kind of a processing time, and frankly speaking, we have hardly seen this kind of a processing time even during pre-COVID days. But obviously this is not normal, but more typically speaking, for at least my clients, I see a typical processing time of 30 to 45 days. It hasn't really exceeded beyond 45 days. And if you have already submitted your visit visa applications, and if you think that the processing time has exited whatever that is being mentioned on the IRCC processing time website, it may be a good idea to apply for a case note, right? Like see what's happening, or maybe to just to raise a web form. That also helps at times. So first update, processing time for most of the TRVs is going down. Visit visa applications is definitely one among them. The second good news, or the second news I would say, which is not a good news, is that along with the processing time going down, the rejection rate is going up. And rejection rate is going up, I would say, quite substantially for study visa applications, for visit visa applications. And this is true for countries such as India, I would say for Pakistan, I would say for Bangladesh, and I would say for Philippines. Uh, the rejection I see these days is like beyond expectation. It's beyond imagination. I haven't seen this kind of rejections in like last many months or even years, right? So the rejection rate is going up substantially. But again, we have to understand it from officers' perspective as well. These guys are in huge backlog. Their only objective these days is to process the application, to reduce the processing time, because they are under immense pressure from the government. So in doing that, what these guys are ended up doing is that unfortunately they are rejecting some of the well-made applications as well. In fact, I have done a reapplication for one of my clients, and the client had worked with one of the local consultants in India, got refused. But incidentally, that application was actually done well, and in spite of the fact that application was refused. So now I have submitted the reapplication for the client. We'll see what happens, but I'm quite optimistic. But the point is, the rejection is going up substantially, and in some cases I also see the rejection is there. Rejection is happening for well-made applications as well. And I would really blame this to the overburdened officers. Like these guys are in immense amount of backlog, immense amount of pressure. and that may be causing this kind of unfortunate incidents. But from your side, what you have to really do is that you have to submit a very very well made applications, so there is no second chance in this case, particularly if you're applying from countries where I would say the wait time is generally longer, right, where the number of applications are generally higher. For example, India would be high, highest, China, Philippines, to some extent Bangladesh and Pakistan as well. So if you're applying from any of these countries, and I would also include Africa into the list, so if you're include applying from any of those countries, you make sure to submit a super perfect application from day one, because a well-made application, number one, has the possibility of getting acceptance faster, a possibility of getting an approval faster, and secondly, you really do not want to lose your chance. So as I've said in the in the previous videos as well, no matter who is doing the reapplication process, be it myself, you on your own, or any of your licensed representative, always remember that a first application gives you the more number of chances. The more number of reapplications, the more number of refusals you get, the possibilities of success or the chances of success become that much lower in the second application. Having said that, a well-made reapplication also gets approved in record time. I have seen that, and hence a reapplication also works. But obviously a reapplication is a stress, is an additional money, is a time and everything. You don't want to do that. Make sure you do the application in a completely perfect manner, in a proper manner, and make sure to submit a completed application. This is like, this aspect is more true than ever before, right? The third aspect is a sort of strange aspect, and that is, well, I will not really say a strange, I would say a little bit more expected here as well, and that the labor market shortage, in spite of there are a lot of temporary workers already here in Canada, the labor market shortage is probably at all-time high, and that is true after pandemic. Now you would typically think that now the country is getting back on track, now almost everything is open, so people should go back to work. This is not really happening. What is really happening is that people have, I would imagine, they have got a lot of funding from the government. They have got a lot of money from the government. I don't know whether that kind of free money have made them lazy or whatever. The number of job vacancies is going up quite substantially. Having said that, it is also important for you to understand is that though the number of job vacancies are going up, there is not a reason to believe that everyone is looking for foreign resources to fill in those blanks, if you will. For example, in my local show, in my local convenience store, I see a hiring board, but that does not really mean that convenience store will hire somebody from India or from any other country for that matter. But what it really means for you is that I would imagine the number of application acceptance from pilot programs such as Atlantic Immigration, or not really pilot program, now it's a permanent program, Atlantic Immigration Program, would go up. And if you are able to get an LMIA, the possibility of approval of your work permit, if the work permit is submitted in a well-made manner, will be quite high. So this is something that you have to keep in mind, that there is a labor market shortage, and the labor market shortage is only going up, and there are unfortunately not many resources here in Canada to fill in those jobs. So yeah, that's one of the observations that I've had. Let's talk about Atlantic Immigration Program. Now, we all know that Atlantic Immigration Program has become a permanent program from March 7th. The employers have all been made aware of that. I had a short call with the Nova Scotia Immigration Authority last week, and they have confirmed that they are all ready to accept all the new endorsements if there is any. They're all ready to work with the settlement organizations if there is a requirement, and they have deployed additional manpower to help with the resourcing and to help to making sure that the work permit gets approved in a faster manner. The immigration applications, the PR applications, get approved in the faster manner, right? So Nova Scotia immigration, and obviously this is not only true for Nova Scotia, it is true for other, it is true for New Brunswick, it is true for PEI, it may be true for Newfoundland and Labrador as well, but obviously there are not many employees there. But Atlantic Immigration Program has now become a permanent program. So if you're somebody that is looking for a job offer from outside Canada, I will suggest you to go through this route rather than going through the labor market impact assessment or the LMIA route, because LMIA comes with lots of cons for the employer. So I will talk about that in my next stream. because people oftentimes get confused with these pilot programs with the LMIA. These pilot programs, or now this is a permanent program, these programs do not require the employers to go through the labor market impact assessment process. So if you get an employer, and if the employer doesn't even understand how AIP works, you can really work with a professional to make them understand how the Atlantic immigration program work, or probably you can make them understand how the Atlantic immigration program work. This is a very, 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 I would say, prominent, or very, very transparent way how this process works. The only thing that you need to get is a job offer. I do understand getting a job offer from outside Canada has never been easy. It is not easy, and it will never be easy. But since, as I have already mentioned, that the post job offer requirement for AIP is not that complicated, I would imagine the employer should not hesitate a lot before hiring a foreign candidate here, if they think that that position is really crucial for them. That is also very important. If you are a truck driver, AIP is wonderful for them. Even for some IT professionals, Nova Scotia has a booming IT sector. New Brunswick has a booming IT sector. So there are a lot of jobs that I will imagine that will come under AIP in the upcoming days. So if you are somebody that is hunting for jobs, maybe Atlantic Immigration Program will be a good place, but make sure to do things properly. Do not send like a single CV to all the employers randomly. That will not work. If you need professional assistance, let me know on that front as well. The other update I have for you guys is this citizenship application. So now those of you who have applied for citizenship might have seen that the processing time between your application submission and your application acceptance, which we otherwise call it AOR phase, application receipt phase, have gone down quite substantially. So currently this is between 25 to 30 days. So if you have submitted your citizenship application, you should hear back from the government within like a month's kind of a time. That your application has been accepted, and the overall processing time for citizenship is like literally well under a year, which is probably one of the benefit of the pandemic. The pandemic has taught us that such a complicated process, such a formal process such as citizenship could well be done online, and now the oath ceremony and everything else is happening online. So the processing time is expected to go down even further, but as of right now this is well under 1 year. So which is obviously not too bad, and in pandemic time it has gone down, like even gone up to even like 1.5 years or something, but now it's well under control. So that is definitely a good news for all of us. COVID, the country is getting sort of prepared to live without mask in Ontario from March 21st, which is I believe next Monday. There were the mask requirement is ending. So for majority of the places now we would be able to enter even without mask, which is amazing. I mean, it will be great to see some real faces after 2 years. That is something interesting to be seen. But yeah, I mean, on an overall basis from all over Canada, the mask mandate has either like has been completely removed. For example, I think it has been completely removed in British Columbia. It has been removed in Saskatchewan. It will be removed in Ontario from March 21st, which means that obviously it gives a lot of enthusiasm. It gives a lot of boost to the economy, because now more and more people will be getting out. So all the hospitality businesses, all the travel businesses and everything else, including airlines, obviously should see a boost. And we already know that if you're traveling from outside Canada to Canada, and if you're vaccinated with the vaccines as mandated by the government of Canada, by the Health Canada, you do not need a PCR test. Just an antigen test is fine, just a rapid test is fine. And obviously the quarantine requirement has been removed as well. So that's a good sign. Now there is one aspect that I would like to highlight here, is that, and this is really nothing to do with the update part. I've been getting a lot of emails saying that, can we help? Can Nuvonation, can I help with a job offer, either for AIP or any other program or not? The short answer to that is no. As a licensed immigration firm, we are not supposed to help, and we are not legally allowed. Neither we have the expertise to help you with a job offer. So again, people are booking consultations, and then they're asking me questions about the job offer. Unfortunately, guys, please have to understand is that we do not help our clients with a job offer. So and I will make a separate video on that as to what you should keep in mind before even asking somebody for it, because then you could potentially be a part of a bigger fraud. But nobody could really help you with a job offer, right? There are some steps that you need to follow. I have already made a video on that. You really need to take those steps. Asking for a job offer from immigration firms won't really help you. In fact, those things could potentially lead you to fraud. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. And in a nutshell, we do not help with the job offer. So that's, I believe, the pretty much the updates that I have, that I just thought to share with you guys. The situation is getting better from an immigration standpoint. A lot of new programs have been launched. A lot of new programs are expected to launch in the for the rest of the year. The mask mandate has gone up, has been removed from most of Canada. That should give us a little bit of boost for the express entry. As we all know, 2022 will not be a year for express entry. We might have to wait till the end of 2022 maybe, or towards the beginning of 2023. We will see. But other than that, the overall situation looks quite under control. It is, if you're looking to come to Canada in the shortest period of time or in the foreseeable future, study visa is probably the way to go. But obviously it depends on case to case. It depends from your profile, your study, your previous study, your education background, and a lot of other factors. If you need professional assistance, drop me a line. And in fact, go through our website. Our website gives you a complete information as to what we do, what we are capable of doing, what we are not capable of doing, and how to book a professional consultation. Go under the professional consultation tab if you need our professional support. We believe that is the best way to know each other. That is the best way to for us to understand your case, to be able to tell you whether we will be in a position to help you or not. I see one question here that I will just quickly answer there. You have done ECA, sir. If you have done ECA and this is uploaded on the IRCC portal, will this affect the visitor's application? Can this pause the application to be? My reason is that I believe IRCC investigate the applicant name in the system for ECA. IRCC will granted the visa. If you I don't know what your question is, really, but if I understood is that if you want to apply for a visit visa while you are in the permanent residency pool, you can very well do that. If that is what your question is, and there is nothing to investigate about, you can always come here on dual intent. You could have your permanent residency application going on at the same time. You could apply for your temporary residency visa as well. No, I think you have asked this question last time, and if I remember it correctly, you have already received your temporary resident visa. If you have received that, it's more than fine. If you have not received that, you should know that you are welcome to lodge a temporary residence visa application along with your permanent residency application. I hope that helps. So that's pretty much it for today. If you need our professional assistance, drop us a line, contact at nuvonation.ca, go through our website, www.nuvonation.ca, and I shall talk to you in the next video. Bye now.